Welcome back, you guys. I am back with another video. Yes, it is Super Bowl Sunday. I guess I'm kind of celebrating. I'm gonna be eating and stuff. Maybe have a drink or two. But I mean, my team's not in here, but I'm gonna still be happy because people party. I'm looking forward to the commercials. Not the game so much, but I am here to do another review. So we're here for Teen Mom. It is called Looking for the Signs, and this episode there were some signs for some people to move on. Some of these people need to just move on from some things, let go of some things, but we're gonna talk about that. So we opened up with Brianna. I'm kind of happy for Brianna this episode. Talking about looking for signs. I need her to pay attention to some signs and not go too fast with this new girl. Guy. He does recognize. He goes as he pronouns. So Brianna, I was happy to see that her sister finally is moving to Oregon because they did stay. I think they had moved from Colorado. That's where they had moved from. It was just her and her mom that had moved originally. So her sister Vanessa is moving, so I'm happy for that. I think that will help her spirits and her, energy. It'll bring it up because she'll have that with her as far as her sister being there. Because I know it feels good to have my sister around. Even though sometimes she gets on my nerves, it still feels good to know my sister's nearby. I think I'll be sad if my sister was far away. I know I will, because my sister has been far away from me. She's been on the other side of the country from me, and it was hard to not have her here. So she was talking to her mom about her new friend. I forgot. I think his name is Jaden. I think that's his name, Jaden. And her mom was kind of asking her the questions that most parents want to know. Well, what's going on with you guys? What are you doing? Are you trying Zay? Are you taking it slow? And she just kept letting everybody know we are taking it slow, and I advise her to continue to take it slow. Do not move too fast because you do have a history and a pattern of doing that. Please continue to go slow. Don't make the same mistakes and do the same things you did in the past. Please don't. I feel like your life is kind of finally coming together. You're making some plans for yourself. Continue to make good choices for your life. Now, Vanessa comes. She already told Vanessa, now that you're here, you're going to be my babysitter. And she used her right away. Vanessa comes. Jaden comes at the same time. And she goes out to I guess you could say, a little date. And she asks him, what did you think when you first seen my profile? And he said that you were cute. And she was like, oh, well, thank you. And she asked him what was his plan now that he was out here in Oregon, and what did he want to do? And he said that he was wanting to work at a weed dispensary. And she was like, no, she asked him what made him want to move here. He said, because weed was legal. And she said, he was like, no, I'm joking. And she was like, okay, I was about to say, you need to find a better answer than that. He was like, no, because, my family's out here. She said, okay, that's a better answer. But then when she said, what do you want to do? He said that he wanted to work at a weed dispensary. So she was kind of looking like, so we're back to the weed thing again. He said, or work at the VA hospital. And she was like, what's that? The VA hospital? Veterans Affairs? She said, oh, okay. I get it. Everybody doesn't know what VA is. I work at a company and we tell people VA all the time, and they're like, who? Government facility, baby. So the weed bothers her because her ex used to smoke a lot. So that's I guess kind of like a red flag for her. So that's why I'm saying pay attention to the signs. You see something that you're not comfortable with, you don't really care for, go with it. Don't just, I'm not saying judge them completely off of it. I'm not saying don't get to know the person, but keep a mental note of things. Don't just ignore it. Now, excuse me, Rachel. I'm very upset with Rachel, but I've been upset with Rachel pretty much the last couple of episodes. Rachel says that Jacob and Drew have not checked in on Hazley. Doesn't call. They're just pretty much non-existent right now, which I figured was going to happen. It was kind of like, well, if I'm going to date you, then I'm going to play the role of a dad, but since we're not involved anymore intimately, then I don't need to be concerned about your baby. Now, Rachel's mom said that she wanted to plan a trip to Georgia because they have family down there, and she's like, it's been a while since we've seen them, let's go down there and see them, and so they can see the babies, her sister Mallory's baby, and to see Rachel's baby. And she was like, okay, that's great. We haven't seen the family in a while. I do want to go down there and see them. And she was like, well, I do also want to check in and see my dad, because her dad lives down there in Georgia too. Now, Rachel's mom was not happy about this because they don't have a good relationship. They used to do drugs together. There's abuse and everything else. So there's nothing good there. There's not a good past there with her dad. Rachel, of course, was like, well, I feel like I gave you a chance, Mom. I want to give him a chance. I just want to go and see him too while we're down there. Mallory says that she'll go too. She wants to see her dad, wants to takes her daughter to see him as well. So once they get down there, Rachel had been texting her dad prior to this, so they get down there and she was like, well, I'm gonna go see him later today. They was out having family time. Mom's not really feeling this, not really happy about this. And she said, well, I'm still not happy about this. She was like, I just think this is a bad idea. It's just not a good person. I just don't see that he, has changed. She has her feelings. She has her frame of reference about him. And she's entitled to that because she has a different relationship with him than Rachel. So her sister Mallory kind of backs out of it. She changes her mind at the last minute and says, you know what? I don't want to go. And I feel like it was probably because she sees how her mom was feeling, and she's a mom too now. And she's just like, I don't want to upset my mother. I don't want to go. So she tells Rachel, I don't want to go to see Dad, and I don't want to take my daughter. And Rachel said, I understand. I'm not mad at you. I'm still going to go, though. So since she didn't want to go, Rachel's mom was like, well, you can't go. I don't want you to go by yourself to go see him. I don't feel comfortable. I'm concerned for your safety. Rachel goes off. And this is what upset me. At the end of the day, your mother is still your mother. And I will always have a level of respect for my mother, period. Because she's my mother. It doesn't matter what my mother says to me. Doesn't matter. I'm going to always, there's a respectful way for me to tell her that I don't like what you're saying. I disagree with what you're saying. I'm going to still say it in a respectful way because she's my mother. Rachel goes off and she's like calling her mother all kind of names, and she's just like, I gave you opportunity. You used to do the same thing. You used to be in the same boat as him. You was doing drugs and stuff too. And she was just like, her mom was like, listen, I know him. I know a side of him that you don't know. And she was like, basically, they just went back and forth, and her mom threatened her to the extent like, I never called the law on you. I never called the law on him. Like, I could do some things to make life uncomfortable for you. She was like, you're not gonna do shit. You always threaten to do something, but you're not gonna do nothing. And she was like, you're right, I haven't, because you're my daughter and I love you, basically, but I can. Don't try me, because I will. She was like, you just talk. You're just talk. It just got so heated. And it was like she was challenging her mother to do something. Do something. Almost to like, you challenge somebody to a fight. Like, I bet you won't hit me. You ain't gonna hit me. You just all talk. Like that. It was that kind of, interaction. And I'm like, why are you challenging your mother that you stay with and who helps you and takes care of your children and your child? I mean, and why? I understand that your mom used to do drugs. Your mama, did not raise you for a period of time because she was on drugs and stuff. But she has gotten herself clean and she is now your mother. You are now living with her now. I understood that she was like, she wanted to give her dad a try and give him an opportunity to have his relationship with you and your daughter. I got that too. However, it does not change the fact that your mother was with your dad and he did some things that you did not know about. You just don't know. So she knows him in a way that you don't. And as your mother, she is saying to you, I am trying to protect you because I don't know what he's going to do. She didn't say that she could not go. She said, you cannot go by yourself. She was like, I don't care. I am grown. I can go where I want to go. She said, you're not grown. You're 17. You're still my child. You're still under me. You cannot go by yourself. You will not go by yourself. Unless someone goes with you, you will not be going. So she finally calmed down. Rachel calmed down. And she was like, I'm sorry. I understand what you were saying. It was just that I want to give him a chance. I want to be able to have a relationship with him. And she said, and that's fine. She said, I just don't want anything to happen to you. So her dad calls. Well, Rachel's mom calls her dad and tells him, Mallory's not coming. So Rachel is 17. She's not going to come by herself. They had a family friend that was going to come. His name was Jake. And basically, he said, no, I'm not going to do nothing to my daughter. I want to spend time with her by myself. That was our plan. And if she can't come by herself, then I'm not going to do it. And he hung up. And so then he called Rachel. And he was like, Rachel, what is wrong with your mother? What is she trying to pull? And she was like, well, Dad, I'm 17. I can't. I'm a minor. I'm still, a minor. And that's what she wants. So it's fine. And he was like, well, he'll have to sit in the car. Her mom said, no, he's not sitting in the car. He's coming inside with her. And he's going to be with her until she's ready to go. He was like, no, that's BS. That's not what I agreed to. I want a long time with my daughter. And that's that. He said, well, I'm sorry, Rachel. I'm not going to be able to see you this time because your mother is over here changing the plans. So, sorry. We'll have to try again another time. So, he hung up again. So, Rachel said she was done. She was like, if he really wanted to see me, then it wouldn't have mattered what the circumstances were. He would have made room. He would have just adjusted. And I do agree with that. I understand that he was upset that he felt like she was trying to pull a fast one and all that or whatever. But nonetheless, you make time for what you want and you're going to do it however you need to do it. If you really want to see somebody, you're going to do it no matter what. Especially when it comes to your child. So, Kaya and Tiaja, they need to either just go ahead and go their separate ways, or they definitely need to take a break. So, Tiaja is graduating, getting ready to graduate high school. So, you guys remember back in high school days, graduation and prom are right there together. They're right there at the end. So, Tiaja wants Kaya naturally to go to prom with her. They were going to go shopping for prom clothes. That whole experience of what couples do before prom. The last minute, for some reason, Tiaja decides that she wanted to go with her cousin and her cousin's friends. Of course, Kaya was upset because that was not the plan, and she felt like she robbed her of that experience. When Kaya was in school, she was pregnant during her final year, her senior year, so she didn't get to go to prom, so she didn't get to have that experience. This was going to be her opportunity to have a makeup, basically. Now she's not going to be able to do that. She called Tiaja on the phone and asked her who was she with and why did she do this, because they had already discussed what they were going to do. This was not the plan. Tiaja said, I'm with my cousin and her friends. When she said that, that really took her to the level, because she was like, you with her friends, so who are her friends? I think in her head she was concerned about, oh, is this some girls that you interested in? Like, who are these friends? And she was like, I don't know them. She was like, no, you know who they are. These some little bitches that you probably interested in. Like, that's what she's done made up. Like, this is the story in her head. These some girls that you trying to impress. That's why you acting brand new in front of them, because you wouldn't be acting like this if it wasn't. So they arguing. And Kaya's yelling. Tiaja doesn't want to argue with her, so she hangs up the phone. And she starts to ignore her phone calls. Kaya's in the house with the baby, so she can't. She can leave, but she really shouldn't. She calls her sister. She tells her sister she's, very upset. And she tells her sister what's going on. And she's like, I have right to be mad, right? And her sister, at first her sister was like, no. But then when she starts to tell the rest of the story, and she was like, so you asked me, should you be upset? Yes, you have a right to be upset. But basically she's like, you need to calm down though. Like, you don't need to go out here, overreact. You need to calm down. Then Kaya calls her mom. And she's, Mom, Tejanae is out here at the mall with some bitches. And she know that we had a plan. She not answering my phone. She ignoring me. I'm about to go to the mall. And her mom is just as calm. I need you to calm down. You got the baby to worry about. Don't go up there to the mall. Y'all need to both step back and take a breather. Because they've been arguing several times. And her mom's had to step in before. And it was just like, y'all need to stop all this. And they really do. And it goes back to just, it's not just being young. It's the maturity level. You have to find a better way to communicate. You can't keep doing this. Their arguments are just so volatile. Right as she hung up the phone with her mom, Tejanae comes walking in the house. Kaya gets in her face. She's just yelling, why would you do this to me? Why would you do that? You know we had this planned out. And she's like literally this close to her. And Tejanae is just like, are you going to let me talk, or you just going to yell? I don't want to keep yelling with you. We've been yelling all day. I don't lost my voice yelling with you. And she was like, you just went without me. And you said you was tired of waiting on me. And then all of a sudden she just broke down crying and walked off. I do know that sometimes I know that I've been upset with people before, and I've gotten into an argument with somebody, and it is very upsetting when you're yelling at somebody and they're very calm, because you want them to match your energy. And she wasn't. She was just like, listen, I don't want to yell with you. Like, I don't want to. And she probably was exhausted at that point. And I think that Kaya probably got exhausted too when she had nothing else left to do but to cry. I think they just probably did. I don't think this relationship is going to work. It's just too much. I think they're too young. I think that Kaya's had to grow up because she's had a baby, and she's had to grow up in a different way. And I think Tejanae is just not ready for the kind of relationship. I just don't think she's ready for that kind of relationship. So I do feel like they need to just go ahead and they need to walk away. Ashley, I'm happy for Ashley this episode. She finally graduated from her program, medical assistant. It wasn't a whole lot going on, actually. We were surrounded by her graduation. We did see Bar with Holly. He was at the park. And that was pretty much it for Holly. I'm not Holly, Ashley. She showed her getting ready for her graduation. She was a little stressed out because Bar was late bringing Holly back home. So that little scene right there, it did kind of give me a glimpse into what's going to probably come for the remainder of the season, where Bar is not responsible. I mean, when she was trying to get ready, she asked him, where are you? You're running late. Did you give Holly a bath yet? He was like, no. So it's like, I asked you to do some things. I needed you to do some things to help me, and you haven't done them. You're not doing them. So now it's falling back on me. I can't rely on you. And I feel like that's going to continue to happen. He's like a fun time dad. Like, I can count on you to take her out to have fun, but I can't count on you to do responsible things for her. Like, take her to the doctor, give her a bath. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel like that's going to continue to go for them. Kayla and Luke are preparing to move because the move time is coming up. But before they move, they still got to find an apartment. They went to Iowa to look for an apartment. Kayla's mother has decided that she wants to move too because she does not want to be that far away from her. At first, I thought, well, that's good because Kayla was concerned about being there by herself. But then I was like, never mind. I forgot how Kayla's mother is. And Kayla's concerned about that too because she's like, well, Mom, I don't want you to pick up and move, because she's like, I'm going to sell my house, get a job up there. I'm gonna move. They're only going to be up there for 2 years. So that's why she did not want her mom to pick up her life and relocate when they're only going to be up there temporarily. Excuse me. Kayla asked Luke, what did you think? What would you do if your mom told you she was going to be moving? He said, I'd tell her no. So Kayla's trying to look at the bright side of it. Well, it'd be nice to have the help. They go apartment hunting. Kayla's mom comes along with them. She's like looking at apartments with them. She's liking some of the same apartments they're liking. We already see where this is going to go. She's going to probably try to move in the same building as them. And that's not what they were wanting. They was like, if you want to come, that's fine. You can come. But we're not trying to live in the same building. We're not trying to live in the same place. That's just not what they wanted. So they go and they have a baby shower. It was a nice baby shower. And Kayla tells Luke's mom that her mom was moving to Iowa. And she was like, well, how do you feel about that? She was like, I mean, just like when she told Luke, it'll be nice to have the help. And that's really about all she feels. It'd be nice to have the help. But I am nervous about how it's going to affect our relationship. So on their way back from pretty much finding their apartment, Kayla's mom starts asking about what's their birth plan. It was like, since, you're going to be having the baby around the same time that he's starting school, what's your end of the time that you're going to be moving? So it's pretty much the move, him starting school, and her birth is all in the same week. She's like, well, it just depends on what happens first. That's how we're going to do it. And she was like, well, Luke, your teachers are aware, so you will be able to, get out of school if you need to. He said, yeah, the teachers know. So, everything's, we have that handled. She was like, well, I'm just wondering, how are we going to do this? Am I going to be allowed in the birth room? What is the plan for that? She was like, no, this is going to be just me and Luke. She was like, well, births can be a long time. She said, yeah, I know. They can be, 24 hours. I know. Well, is Luke going to be in there for 24 hours? Is he going to be able to be in there for 24 hours? She was like, Mom, it's fine. She was like, well, I'm just asking. After the baby's born, is he going to be able to be out of school for that long? Have you guys thought this through? The time is coming up. So that is what started to stress her out. And that was her concern about her mom coming to stay. Because now you're going to be right here. And that's not what she wanted. And I understood that. It's like, I don't want you here stressing me out in my day-to-day life and trying to run things and trying to tell us how to do things. So, I'm a little bit concerned for them. It seems like they have a pretty good handle on what they want to do. And I'm concerned about how her influence is going to change what they already have going on. So, I think this was a good episode as well. I'm happy that the season is starting to move along a little bit better. So, I'm looking forward to how it's going to turn out later on. I hope everyone has a wonderful, glorious Sunday. And I will see you guys on Tuesday for Love and Hip Hop Miami. Bye, you guys.